Darius, great here back again for another video, and this time I am here with my review of Ballerina from the world of John Wick. We have our first, but not last, certainly, John Wick spinoff movie. I think they're making another one with Donnie Yen's character from 4. Or his name, Stick? No, that's Daredevil. Kane! It's Kane. I think he's getting one too, and who knows, maybe if this one does well, there'll be a sequel. I don't know about all that, but I will say this movie is... it's not as good as the John Wick movies, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, like it is definitely, it's not better than any of the 4 that we've gotten, but it's definitely a movie that earned its place in the franchise. Let's say, it belongs. It's not one of those spinoffs, because you never know it, certain franchises and their spinoffs. Just like, why did you even make that? What was the point of that? Like, that's just, it should not be in the just don't even count it. Don't even think about it. Okay, this wasn't that. This was, I will say, it's a good action movie. Actually, it's a really good action movie. It is. Like, the stunts, the fights, which is what you come to John Wick for at this point, right? At a certain point, the John Wick movies stopped being about really the story, even though, like, the world building that they do, like, the world and the different levels, you know, the high table and this, that, and the other, that stuff is very cool and interesting, but it's not truly what you come there for. You come there for, or you go there for the epic fights. And it's similar to this. This movie has a story, a plot line. It's about revenge. Obviously, it's about well, first off, it's starring Ana de Armas, who is, man, a very good actress. Very good actress. Yes, she is. She's on the rise right now in movies, and I thought she played the part well. She's playing a character named Eve. Cannot remember her name, but she got orphaned. Her dad got taken out, and she joined the Ruska Roma, you know, the Russian, like, organization that John Wick grew up in, right? She joined that, became a ballerina, while also being trained to become an assassin. It's very Black Widow, like, it's very Black Widow, because, like, I think even Black Widow had to do, like, some ballet stuff. It's kind of crazy. Like, they even doing, like, the like, reload tests and stuff, like, how fast can you reload your gun, how fast can you assemble your gun and stuff, like, they're basically Black Widow. But, yeah, like, this movie shows her journey very briefly, I might add. Like, for about 15-ish minutes, we get, like, her rise, if even that, we get her rise from her position in the Rescaroma to becoming a full-fledged, I'm about to say bounty hunter, which is not really accurate, assassin. Like, once she becomes a full-fledged assassin, she goes on this revenge tour once she finds connection to the people who took out her father. And that's the whole movie, is her trying to find them, because they're really, without giving too much away, like, it's another faction that we haven't seen before in the John Wick, universe, right? It's a pretty powerful faction. The way the faction operates, you will be surprised. It would be like you're part of that too. You're a part of that. What? Like, who's not a part of this? It's one of those situations, and if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to keep this as spoiler light as possible. I don't think I'm gonna go into spoilers in this movie. I might go into, like, a little bit spoilers towards the end, but it's like this new group that she has to track down and find. They're very mysterious. People don't even know where they are. What their main base operations is. And the group has like a standing sort of understanding with the Ruscaroma, and her going after them kind of threatens that, and it becomes a whole big thing in John Wick faction of her hunting people down, people hunting her down, and whole lots of fights ensue. And the fights are the main thing that is what you will take away from this movie, because it gets to ridiculous levels, which the John Wick movies, mind you, have already reached. The moment dude had, the moment people just casually had bulletproof suits on, and they could just, put the coat up and, the bullets just stop. Once that happened, it was just like, okay, this is the world we live in. These are the rules of this world. It's ridiculous. It's kind of stupid, but it's also really fun. It's really fun. It's like John in the 3rd movie, where he gets betrayed by Winston and shot off the building, and he hits like all the fire escapes on the way down and stuff. It's just like, he should be dead, but because of that suit he's got on, I guess he's not. It's ridiculous, it's stupid, but whatever, go with it. And this has some moments that are like that, where it's just like, it's stupid, go with it. This isn't even really a spoiler because it's in the trailer. There was a beam struggle. If you're an anime fan, you know what a beam struggle is, right? There's a beam struggle in this movie featuring a flamethrower and a water hose. And it is every bit of ridiculous as it looked in the trailer, but it's also really fun. The flamethrower stuff is really fun. They get a lot more use of the flamethrower in the movie than I was expecting, and it's just it's fun. It's fun. Another thing that I find really good about this movie, and this was also like a focus or at least an aspect of the trailer, is that when she was being trained, because we live in a society right now where if a certain group of people, namely men, mainly men, I should say, who watch an action movie or something in which a woman kicks some guy's ass, maybe multiple dudes' ass, they will call it woke. They would be like, this is trash, this is garbage, what is this? And I'll be the first to admit, there are cases when those movies are made, those shows or whatever, where it happens where I'm just like, for some, not all. Like Black Widow, for example, no one ever complained about that during the Black Widow era, of the early MCU, because it was a different time. People weren't as stupid back then. But like, if you're like a super trained assassin woman, it's believable. You could buy it. Okay. Now, when it gets to like certain humongous dudes, it's just like, okay, you might suspend your disbelief greatly. But like most dudes act like, Ronda Rousey wouldn't whoop their ass. Amanda Nunes, Holly Holm, they walked up to them, they'd be on the floor, it'd be night, okay? When you're trained to that level, that's just the way it is. But you still cannot overlook size and strength. And the movie makes a point of that with Eve here and like her training. Like her instructor says, listen, you're going to always be smaller. You're always going to be weaker. Okay, you'll be more skilled maybe, but you'll always be weaker and smaller, which means you do whatever you can to beat your opponent. And that includes cheating. That includes kicking them in the dick, poking them in the eye, all that stuff. And she does that in this movie, and it's great. It's like they understood that the criticism would be levied their way. They're just like, we're going to get out in front of this and just have her cheat and have her scrap out these wins, these fights. And much in like John Wick, she takes a whole lot of damage, sometimes to a ridiculous amount, where it's just like, dude, how are you still going? I don't care what kind of bulletproof padded stuff you got in your suit and your clothes. How are you still moving? But she doesn't get very like often. She gets very like winded and she's often in pain and stuff. So like it's realistic in that sense, but not really. But it's still fun. It's very fun. I will say the biggest drawback of this movie, or there's two main things. Number one, Norman Reedus is in this movie, and he's severely underused. Very underused. He's in it for all of like 10 minutes, if even that. And I'm just like, I remember when I saw the trailer, I was like, Norman Reedus is in here. Dude, I love Norman Reedus. Love Norman Reedus ever since Walking Dead. All right. Daryl, my guy. All right. Love Norman Reedus. And I hope he ends up being the MCU's Ghost Rider. He really wants it. He's like a motorcycle enthusiast. Give it to him. Okay. But yeah, he was not used in this movie nearly as much as he should have been. The other biggest sin, the other worst thing in this movie, is that it's too long. It's too long. It's like maybe 10, 15 minutes too long. Towards the end, even as all the gunfire and explosions and stuff was going on, I was fading, dude. I was like, and granted, I went to the gym earlier. Maybe I could just be fatigued from that. But like, I was good for the whole movie. Towards the end, I started slipping. I feel like the movie, instead of being like 2 hours and 10 minutes, it should have been hour 55 max. 2 hours max. Just shave off 10 minutes and I think you're good. But yeah, it was too long. There's another part. There's another part of this movie that's not the best, and it's that they try to have some like emotional twist thing, like something emotional that when the twist is revealed, it's supposed to be like this thing that really like impacts Eve and her character, and it's just like, whoa, like it's like a connection to her past and whatnot, and it's barely mentioned. Like when it's barely mentioned in the beginning, and when when that twist happens, you're kind of confused. You're just like, wait, what? Wait, okay, all right. I guess I'm supposed to care now about this. And once that's over with, they never talk about it again. So it's just like, what point? What was the point of that being in the movie? They should have just cut that all together. Okay, you could definitely tell this movie went through some reshoots. Apparently, Chad Stileski, I think that's how you say his name. He reshot a whole lot of this film. That's why, like, when it came up and it said, directed by, I forgot the dude's name, I was just like, yeah, he's the director, all right, sure. Other than that, it is a very fun action movie. I feel like if you're going in here for, like, just a good movie, like a really good movie, a great one even, you're not going to get that here, okay? Like, I feel like we've been conditioned now. We're at the point when it comes to these John Wick action movies. You do not go in here to judge it on its cinematography, on the dialogue, on the writing of the scene and the dialogue. You have to get your wine glass and just get all snobby about it. You don't do that here. This is not that kind. It's like what Mark Hamill said. Harrison Ford said to him on the set of Star Wars. Kid, this isn't that type of movie. This is not that type of movie for that. You know what type of movie this is? You get your popcorn, you get your drink, you shove it down your gullet, and you enjoy the crazy action, the crazy fights, and the shootouts, and the action scenes with the cars and stuff. That's what you're here for. And the beam struggles with fire extinguishers. That's what you're here for. And I was really entertained. I would give this. Again, I'm not even going to give this a grade as like a movie. I'm giving this a grade as an action movie. It's a John Wick action movie. 8 out of 10. It's a solid 8 out of 10. All right. If it was a little bit shorter, probably would have got that 8.5. But those are my thoughts on Ballerina. The movie does, I will say, it leaves it open for sequels in case they make enough money to justify that. Will they? I don't know. I have not looked at the data for how it's tracking and whatnot. But I wouldn't be opposed to a sequel. I'll say that much. But let me know in the comments down below if you have seen Ballerina. What are your thoughts? What's your grade? If you haven't seen it, will you be going to see it? Let me know that too. What's your favorite John Wick movie? I think mine is 4. 4 is probably my favorite one. It's probably 4, 1, 3, 2. Like, 1 is a special thing. But 4 lives rent-free in my head because it was just non-stop ass-kicking, which I guess all the movies were to an extent. But 4, it was exhausting with how much fighting there was. In a good way, though. It's just like, dude, I'm exhausted. Oh my God, we're going again! Like, it was... I love 4 to death. Okay, so let me know your favorite John Wick movie. Also, while you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Get me over the hump to 900 subscribers, man. I'm almost there. I think I'm like 4 away. Last time I checked, I'm like at 897. Help me out there, man. If you haven't already, subscribe. Hit the notification bell as well. Also, leave a like. Very importantly, that thumbs up button is not just there for nothing. Okay, just click it. Click it. All right, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.